Good morning, all. I'm NITHIN, Technical Engineer, BIMLABS Engineering Services, and we are here today to talk about visualization in BIM. All right. So before going into that, I'll just introduce ourselves. So we are actually BIMLABS Engineering Services, and we're actually situated in Kerala, all right. And we are actually a Autodesk learning partner and member of Indian Green Building Council. And we also have some training division over here. So we do some BIM training for the students and corporates also. And again, we have also some implementation support that we give for the corporates and other organizations. We also have our own project outsourcing division in the BIMLABS. It's actually a BIM studio. And we also provide some BIM placement services as well. So if you ever have to contact us, okay, you have all the details out here. So yeah, so that's all about us. So without further ado, we can just start, right? So we are here to talk about the visualization, right? So what is visualization? Have you ever thought about what visualization is? So when you hear about visualization, all that come to our mind is basically rendering, creating animations and everything like that, right? But what is really visualization means? What the purpose of visualization in our field? You see, it's actually a part where we don't really need our technical abilities or anything like that, or technical knowledge or anything like that. Actually, in this part, we don't really want our technical knowledge, like the things that we study in our engineering or architecture or anything like that. We really don't have that much of knowledge over this part. But why it is so important? Have you ever thought about that? You see, just consider that out here we are all some engineers and architects over here right now. You see, we have some ideas that I would like to share and everything, right? We see, even if we are having some projects or something like that, what's the main thing that we do? Okay, to understand that project, to study that project, what are the main things that we do? Okay, so what we basically do is that if we have a drawing or something like that, that drawing illustration about that project or anything we have, we look at that. Okay, we look at that, we study that. So how are we studying that? You see, so consider we are having a project and we have some floor plans, elevations like that. Okay, so we are going to create, we have to design the architectural, we want to create a 3D model of that. Okay, our project is something like that, and we have like a floor plan and some elevation views and everything like that. You see, so what we basically do is that just looking at it, we are able to visualize ourselves what that building is going to look like in a 3D model, right? Or even how it is going to look like in a realistic way. You see, we are able to visualize ourselves by just looking into that 2D floor plan or anything like that. See, just looking into that illustration. So basically, drawings are actually the means of our conveying ideas and everything for us, the engineers. But why visualization basically important in our field? Like, why do we want to create all these high quality renderings and everything? You see, we are able to communicate ourselves using the drawing. But what about our client? You see, well, if you have some floor plans and everything within us, and when we show that to our client, you see, when we show them those our drawings to the clients, you can see they are struggling. Like they struggle to identify what are that floor plans means, like how is their home or building going to look like in future. So for us, visualization is basically in the future. See, clients is always they always want to know more. Okay, they won't be able to identify by just looking into that, and that's where the visualization has to play, right? So visualization is basically a language between us, the designers, and the client. So in order to convey our ideas to them, to convey our ideas like the details, the everything that we want to convey them, okay, we can use the visualization methods for that, either by rendering images or walkthrough, something like that. Okay, so we are using those options to actually communicate with our client or to show this to other person. Okay, so basically, if someone asks you what visualization basically means, you can say that it's actually a language between the client and the designers. And expressing an idea through visualization is very effective. You see, just see, you have some ideas in your mind, right? To describe that to someone else is going to be really tough. You have to go through all the details, everything about that particular design in your mind. But just if you are able to do like create a model of that, and you can give the all the textures, shades, colors, and everything into that, you can able to render that very well. Or even if you can make the animations and everything, and you can show them to that. Okay, you only have to just show them. Okay, just by looking into that model or that render image or um, the animation or anything, they are able to get the idea that you are trying to convey. So it's all about expressing an idea or conveying an idea. Okay, and actually it's also, we can say that it's actually also a marketing tool. So because all our clients are basically want to know about the like how it's going to be in the, like you can see they are very excited about how to look see our they're more than the like rendered version, like photorealistic way and everything like that. So it's actually a marketing tool as well. Okay, we can do some really high quality renderings and everything within our tools that we have, and we can just use that. You see, so that's what the visualization part plays in our current field. And so for today's session, I will be focusing on mainly two things in the visualization, and those are the rendering and animations. So we have also different methods for that, and but today we'll be focusing on the rendering and animation. You see, you might already know what rendering and everything is that. See, rendering is basically generating photorealistic or non-photorealistic 2D image of our 3D model. So it's about creating an high quality images of our 3D model with all the textures, shades, colors, and everything. By using different tools and everything, we make it more and more like what photorealistic image of our model. So we will be able to show the textures of our model, like the textures of all the um, walls. If we are talking about walls, okay, the texture on the walls, the materials, okay, even the landscaping parts also, okay. So we have to do a lot of things for to creating a such kind of a rendering and everything. So we have to be accurate about the things that we use, okay, all the elements and everything like that. So that's all about the rendering actually. So it's all about creating a 2D image of our 3D model with very good quality of textures and everything like that. See, and there comes the animation part. So animation is basically generating the walkthroughs and scenes of our 3D model. So walkthroughs and scenes actually basically it is creating the videos. See, like creating the videos of our model. So basically, if you look at here, you can know the rendering is basically about creating an image, and animation is basically creating the video. Okay, so we incorporate both of these in the visualization to convey our ideas and to present our model and everything. Okay, so um, so as I said, actually we are talking about the visualization in the BIM, right? So if you know the BIM service, like the workflow of the BIM, one of the main mostly used the 3D modeling software is Revit. All right. But when you think about all these rendering and animation, when you talk about that, you may be wondering like how we can create all these high quality renderings and everything. Okay, we had to go for like maybe it's we had to go to some professionals to do that, or we had to buy some like highly priced softwares and everything to do all these kinds of work. But basically, you don't really have to do that. Okay, if you are working in the Revit, if you are working with the Revit, actually Revit have its own option to render your model. All right, but not just one, but it have actually like a two different methods of rendering. So rendering in Revit. So as I said, we have two different rendering options in the Revit, and one is the native or the system rendering, and other one is the cloud rendering. So most of you don't know about might don't know that rendering is available in the Revit, but yeah, you can do some pretty decent rendering in the Revit itself. You see, so what the system rendering is basically, you don't have to go for any other softwares or anything. All right, once you have done modeling your designing your model, you can just quickly render it using the Revit itself. So Revit have the system rendering option there. Okay, so I'll show you how to render that later on. Okay, so you can just, you don't really have to depend on any other different softwares or anything for that. Okay, you can really do some decent quality of rendering within the Revit itself. All right, and it is really quick. Okay, you don't have to spend a lot of hours or anything like that. Okay, when you think about rendering and everything, you might be always thinking like we have to spend like hours and hours to in that to create some renderings and everything. All right, but we don't really have to do that. Okay, we don't really have to spend that much of time there. Okay, with using the Revit rendering options, you'll be able to create some very good rendering within a half an hour. Okay, half an hour is actually a little stretch. Okay, you can create some decent quality renderings and everything within like 10 or 15 minutes. Okay, and then we have another rendering option, which is the cloud rendering option. Okay, which is more a bit more quality rendering. Okay, so cloud rendering is basically the Autodesk Cloud's rendering service lets you create rendering on Autodesk service, or you can keep working on your Revit file. So basically, what that means is that the Autodesk. Okay, so Revit is actually a Autodesk software. You might know that if you have worked with the Revit, and Autodesk has a cloud rendering service. Okay, all you have to do is after you model your after you designed your model in the Revit, you can upload that model or a particular scene, a particular view of that model to the Autodesk service. Okay, and from there on the servers, on the cloud server, it will do the rendering. Okay, and you don't really have to deploy. Okay, it does not require any your hardwares or anything in your system or anything like that. Okay, it is actually taking place in the cloud. Okay, you only have to just you need some internet connection, okay, obviously. So you have to upload that over there. You can do that within the Revit yourself. You can just upload that particular scene over the Autodesk cloud, and from there it will be rendering. Okay, and you will get the message while it is over. Okay, when the rendering is done. So one of the advantage of that is that you don't have to really wait to rendering to get finished. See, most of the rendering tools if you are using, you have to wait that rendering to be finished. Like you have to wait for hours and hours to uh, finish that rendering. Okay, you won't be able to use your lap or anything while the rendering is taking place, right? But using the cloud rendering, you just only have to just upload that to the cloud, and the rendering will take place in the cloud. All right. So you can still work on your project file if you want to do some editing or some annotation, documentation parts or something like that. You can do that. While at that time, the rendering will take place in the cloud. Okay, so you can do both things at the same time. So those are the two different options that we have in the Revit. Okay, so how we can create rendering in the Revit. Okay, so we have like a little bit advanced rendering tools in the Revit. So we can do some rendering. We are able to do some lighting changes and everything. So if you work with the Revit, okay, I'll just tell you some quick option how we can do the rendering. Okay, I'll just show you a little bit why. But if you are using the Revit, just go to the View tab, and on the presentation panel, there will be an option called Render. Okay, so when you select that render, uh, the window will pop up like this. Okay, you can find a similar window when you select the render option. All you have to do is just change some settings over here. So we got the quality settings. We can change the quality of the render you want. Okay, output settings, it depends on how much details you need. Okay, you can change the DPI, which is the dots per inch. Okay, you can change the DPI. You can make the change the resolution based on the DPI you want. Okay, you can do that. Then we have the lighting option. Okay, so within the Revit itself, you can do the daylight rendering and the night view rendering. Okay, I'll show you some of the images that we rendered. But yeah, you can do both of the daylight rendering and the night view rendering in the Revit itself. Okay, so you have the option to change the light settings and for each and everything. And there are sun settings, which is actually a very good feature because you see you can do place the location of your building in the Revit. Okay, and based on that location, based on the weather report of that location, you can set this. You will get the sun settings of that, like the sun path and everything according to that. So you'll get the accurate shadows and everything of that model, of that exact place. Okay, if that model is actually constructed on that exact plot or a place or location that you are building. Okay, you'll get the exact shadows and everything. Okay, so that's what sun setting is. And they can also place the backgrounds. Okay, you can place different backgrounds if you want. If you want to place some landscaping images or anything like that, you can use that over there. Okay, then you can adjust the exposures and everything. Then you are able to export that that rendering as well. So you have just we got some really good features in the Revit itself. You're able to change the light settings, you're able to change the quality and everything. All right. So as the quality increases, it might take a little bit more time to render, but actually you can keep it on the medium quality, and it does give you some really good quality rendering. Okay. So over here, this is actually a daylight rendering into Revit. It's actually a medium quality rendering. Okay, and it's actually a decent rendering. All right. It's actually a decent rendering. Okay, if you are going for some really advanced softwares and everything, then you might get really good rendering than this. But you have to spend more than more than 2-3 hours to render that. Okay, and you have to provide a lot of things to get that kind of a rendering as well. But just doing the model and placing some other on trackers and everything, you will be able to get this type of rendering within less than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Okay, so that's the advantage of using the rendering option in the Revit. Okay, so this is the daylight rendering, and here is the night view rendering. Okay, so night view is basically it will be dark. It's a night time. Okay, so if you have placed some artificial lights and everything in your building, those lights will also illuminate according to that. Okay, you can also control all these features. You will be able to control the exposure and everything according to that. You will get some decent quality of rendering within the Revit stuff like this. Okay, then I'll show you some other images also. Okay, this is actually the same building, the same view. It is rendered in the Autodesk cloud. Okay, this is actually a cloud rendering. You can see it is a much more crispier. Okay, more details. The colors are really good over here. Okay, I'll just show you some. Okay, this is actually the night view, which is rendered in the cloud server. Okay, so here you have a small comparison over here. So if on the left side you are seeing the cloud rendering, and on the right side you are seeing the system rendering. Okay, if you look at here, you can find there are some quality changes out there. You see the elements, the components are much more sharp and crispier in the uh, on the cloud service, and it with more smooth and dull colors on the system rendering. Okay, but both of these would take only something like about 15 minutes to do the rendering, and you are getting decent quality of rendering within the Revit itself. Okay, so I'll just show you some other rendering options. Okay, okay. So this is also another rendering that we have. It's actually a cloud rendering. Okay, and here the background is actually an image. Okay, you can create the image and do rendering like that. You can see the quality of the texture and everything is much more higher on the cloud rendering. Okay, so this is also the same, which is done on the cloud rendering. Okay, oh no, actually this is the system rendering. Okay, now cloud rendering is actually a system rendering. You can see the quality is much more different over here, and the colors are also different over here. Okay, and this is also an organic foam material. Okay, also rendered using the cloud rendering. Okay, you can see you will get a very good quality. Okay, a decent looking quality of rendering within the Revit itself. You don't really have to go for any other software or anything. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to another software or anything. Okay, you can go there. Okay, you can do that. But see, the drawback of that is that okay, you are getting only this kind of quality or something like that. Okay, it's not like the very highest quality or really photorealistic or anything like that. But still, it is better. It is decent quality. You can use this to do in your presentation and everything as well. Okay, so decent quality, it does the purpose right. Okay, but if you are like going for other big softwares and other third-party softwares, well, you have to do a lot of work there. All right, you are going for such kind of like if you want to get like renderings like this, okay, on other softwares, you have to design your building entirely for that. Okay, you have to place all the materials again with much more like much more higher quality materials to all the elements that you have placed on your building. Okay, all the trees, on trackers, everything has to be replaced with the one that is available on that particular software. Okay, and it is actually a really time consuming process as well. Okay, and even if you want to create some textures and everything, you have to spend another much more time in there as well. Okay, you have to do all these things over there to get this like a really good quality of rendering as well. Okay, over there. And if you're just using these kind of like materials over there, okay, only using these kinds of material and taking the rendering, it might look only just like this, a little bit more great. Okay, but if you want to get like really photorealistic and everything, you have to do a lot of work over there, and it would take about like 2, 3, 4 hours, or maybe even days. Okay, if you're doing animations and everything, it will take more than days. Okay, but here you can do this rendering within 15 minutes. Okay, this much faster. Okay, if BIM service is actually meant for doing work, making the workflow really fast. Okay, so yeah, you can do this rendering over here. Okay, so animation in Revit. You see, we talked about the rendering in the Revit. So animation in Revit. Okay, so you can do animations in Revit as well. You will be able to. We are able to create some walkthroughs in the Revit. Okay, you are able to create different scenes and everything. So animation is basically like a animation of a series. Walkthrough is like animation of a series of image to present the model. It's like actually you are placing some keyframes over there, and it will create or Revit will automatically create a more keyframes and images of that, and it will stitch together to form a video. Okay, so it's actually a group of images are actually the video, right? So it's actually like a series of image. Okay, you can adjust the frames per second and everything over there, so you can make your animation smooth. Okay, you get all the option over there. You can create interior walkthrough, right? Okay, you can just do the walkthrough of your interior of your building. You can go through your building and everything. Okay, you can create walkthrough of that, which is actually a very good option for doing visualization. Okay, for presenting your model to client, for them to just to visualize how that your building will look like. Okay, what's going to be the interior and everything. Actually, doing the walkthrough is a really good feature, and you can also create scenes around the building. Okay, if you want to present that model or something like that, you have to do some scenes around your building and everything as well. You can then do such kind of animations. You can do such kind of uh, scenes and everything over there. You can just, okay, if you have a bunch of scenes and everything, you can just use that. Okay, you can import that into an video editing software, or you can merge them or create some really good transitions and everything. You can make some really good video outputs of them as well. Okay, so we have the option of creating walkthrough in the Revit itself. Okay, so for to create something like a walkthrough on the Revit, okay, all you have to do is just go to the View tab on the Create panel. Okay, you can find a 3D view option over there. So just drop that down, and you will get an option called Walkthrough. All right. So just choose the walkthrough. All you have to do is just place the keyframes. Okay, you have to define the path of the walkthrough by adding keyframes. Okay, so if you look at this image over here, it's actually a floor plan of a building, and you can see this all these blue lines are the path of that walkthrough, and all these red dots are actually the keyframes. Okay, so all you have to do is just take the walkthrough, go to your floor plan, take the walkthrough. Just all you have to do is just place all these keyframes that you want. Okay, you will be only placing these keyframes, but when you play it, will be actually having transition around these all these keyframes. Okay, Revit will automatically add more frames between these keyframes. Okay, you can adjust that how much frames you want and everything. You can do all these settings over in the Revit, and you will get a really smooth renderings over there. Okay, you can only preview in some shaded qualities and everything, but you see you can render it with some realistic quality and rendering quality as well. It might take a little bit more time and everything. Okay, but you get a decent walkthrough out of it. All right, so this is actually a walkthrough. It's actually a quick walkthrough that I took, okay, of a building. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're able to see it properly, but yeah, I'll just play. Okay, it's actually a scene that created around the building. All right, so it's the quality is actually a little bit dull. Okay, it's just a share quality over here. Yes. Okay, so like that you can create. Okay, so it's just a small video over here, but see, you can create like walkthroughs inside the building. You can go around all the rooms and everything in the building. You can create walkthrough like that. Okay, so just a full quick glance. I'm just really using this video over here, but yeah, you can go through all these building the rooms and everything. Okay, so that's the walkthrough. Okay, then you see that, so those, okay, all these are actually the functions that is available in the Revit itself. Okay, so these are all the renderings and everything that is available in the Revit. Okay, animation also, animation walkthrough and everything. Okay, so all what is available in the Revit. Okay, but see, if you want to go for any other software, okay, any like third-party software, anything, we have bunch of software. We have V-Ray, Lumion, ENSCAPE, Twinmotion. We have all of the software. Okay, so you can go out there and you can do all the renderings with really much more quality, much more photorealistic way as well. So here I'll just introduce you the ENSCAPE. Okay, I'll just show you some of the functions of the ENSCAPE and how the quality of the ENSCAPE rendering and everything. Okay, so ENSCAPE is actually a third-party software. Okay, and ENSCAPE really helps you create some really good rendering within a short period of time. Sorry, excuse me. So you can really create some really good quality rendering within the Inkscape, and it only takes like really a short period of time. Okay, just like doing the rendering in the Revit, you can create rendering in the Inkscape as well. So one of the advantages of the Inkscape is that you don't really have to like spend a lot of time over there. Okay, just like creating the rendering in the Revit, just do the model. Okay, place everything that you want, all the on trajes, trees, plants, people, everything. Okay, you can place everything over there with the material and everything. And when you do the rendering in the Enscape, you really get a good quality of rendering with a much more quality textures and everything. And one of the main advantages is that the all the on trajes like the trees, people and everything, you will be placing those from the Revit family. But when you render those in the Enscape, Enscape will automatically replace them with the one that they have, like the one there's a asset library of their own, so they'll replace with the elements that the Enscape have. So you don't have to really spend time for replacing everything. Okay, it will replace with the elements they have, and it will create a very good quality of rendering. Okay, so it's not just a rendering like a 2D image or anything. You can really do some, you'll really get a whole rendered version of your 3D model. You can create the walkthrough like a rendered walkthrough of that model. You can create high quality renderings. Okay, rendered walkthrough means not like the one that you see here. Okay, this is actually a base quality. Okay, but in the Enscape you can do some really high quality rendering. Okay, I'll show you that. And there are a lot of other functions over there on the Enscape. Okay, you are getting some VR export option as well. Okay, so right now you know we have the technology, VR technology over here. Okay, virtual reality, and we have some, if you have a VR headset or anything like that, then you can export your model in VR through the Enscape, and you can do the walkthrough using the VR headset. Okay, it's actually a really good method of showing the walkthrough, right? You will be able to do the walkthrough by yourself. Like you can experience that, like really looking into that building and everything. Okay, you can do that using the Enscape itself. Okay, so I'll just show you some of the rendering over here. So this is actually a rendering of a model in the created in the Revit. Okay, so yeah, you will get this kind of a quality. Okay, you can really increase the quality and everything. Okay, you can also go some do some editing, post processing and everything, and you can make it really much more better than this. Okay, so you will get this kind of quality from the Revit. Okay, you see this is much more higher quality than the Revit right now. You see, so yeah, it's actually a evening time. Okay, so within some simple changes and tweaks, you can create night views, daylight renderings, and everything within the Enscape itself. See, there is also another rendering. Okay, and it's also a rendering of that previous model, which is created using the Enscape right now. You can see the night views are having a little bit more like details and everything. Okay, so it's also like a replica of Burj Khalifa created in the Revit, and we rendered it using the Enscape. Okay, so now it is actually a really good, looking really good. Okay, the quality is much more higher, and you might have seen this is actually an animation you created using the Enscape. You might have seen this. Okay, I'll just play this once more. And here this is actually created by me, and what I did was I created the animation on the Enscape. So I created all this animation over the Enscape, and what I did was I just brought this footage to a video editing software and add some sounds, effects, and everything into that. Okay, so you can really create such kind of animations using. You can create multiple scenes, and you can create transitions and everything. Okay, sure. So I have sent you this on the that WhatsApp chat group that we have, so you can download that and you can see that yourself. So, see, so before that, I'll just show you some of the Enscape how we can use the Enscape in the Revit. So I'll just quickly go to the Revit. Okay, so this is actually a Revit model. Okay, it's actually a model with some all the elements out here is actually the actually the Enscape families and everything that you're seeing right now. Okay, I hope you all are familiar with the Revit and everything. Okay, so you know about families and everything, I guess. So it's actually a model created in the Revit, and see, it's actually a with full of all these trees and all traces you're seeing is actually from the Enscape family. So if I come over here, okay, I will see if you have the installed Enscape in your Revit, you can see you can find your Enscape tab over here on the Revit. Okay, then you'll be able to do have all the tools to do the rendering and everything over here. So when they do the rendering, I'll get something like this. Okay, so this is actually the rendering that I created. Okay, I'll just tweak some changes over here. Okay, okay, so this is actually the Enscape. So it's not like notice this is not actually an image or anything. All right, you can really walk through here. Okay, can do go through all these building and like into the building. Okay, you can just walk around. Okay, I'm not sure about how smooth you are seeing this, but actually this is actually really smooth. Okay, you can really visualize all the building elements and everything over here. Okay, so how much you can see how much quality of rendering you are getting. Okay, so you can just move around in this building. Okay, just like playing games and everything. Okay, you can just simply move around. So you can just walk onto your first floor. You're getting some really decent, not decent, but you're getting a really very good rendering out here using the Enscape. So you can go through all the places in here, and yeah, can change the backgrounds and everything in the Enscape itself. And just if you want to change the time, it is really easy. Just all you have to do is just press I or U in the keyboard. Okay, when you do that, you'll actually do some change the time. Okay, and if you are making it really a night, you can see if you go to here, you can find all this here. You see how it looks like. Okay, so you can change the time again. You can make it some daytime or something like that. Okay, you can make it daytime like this. It's a similar way you can create some really good, decent, not decent, sorry, I can add again. You can really take some really good rendering from the Enscape itself. Okay, so yeah, all right, and I'll just quickly just close it. I'll just show how you can do some rendering in the Revit. Okay, I'll just close this as well. Okay. 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 Do you have any problem with my voice right now? Okay. Can you hear me? Or I'll just choose this model for now. Okay, it might take a little bit time to load the software since we are using all the. Okay, fine. So this is actually the same model that we did the rendering earlier. So yeah, I'll just. Okay, so this is actually the model that we created in the Revit. Okay, so I've placed a lot of trees and everything around here. Okay, it's actually a model that created in the Revit. So all right. So I'll just come to this another 3D view. You can create perspective using the Revit itself. All right. So you have this option over here on the view tab. You'll get instead of 3D view, you'll get another option called camera view. Okay, you can use that to create some perspective views of your model. Okay, you can use that method and create some perspective views like this. Then to render it, all you have to do is just go to the view tab again, and on the presentation panel, you can find the render option. So we have the render and render in cloud over here. See, you can use both of these. So if you go to the render option, you see you can find this window over here. So you can change all the qualities and everything according to that. So right now I have placed it on the like artificial only. So basically it is the night view rendering. Okay, like that. And if I hit render, it will start rendering. Okay, that will take a little bit more time. So, yeah, yeah, actually, since we are using all the internet, different softwares and everything like that, it might take a little bit time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it will only take us 5 minutes or something like that. So, but make sure that you're placing all these artificial lights in your model. All right. If you are doing some night view rendering, then make sure you place some lights on your model. All right. Then only you will be able to control that lighting and everything. Otherwise, it will look like a total black image. Okay. So make sure you have placed some artificial light fixtures on your model. So yeah, and we will get a lot of options in the cloud rendering as well. You can do some panorama rendering on the cloud render, and you can use can you view that panorama using your mobile phones. Okay, I'll show you that. Okay, you can just experience that yourself. Uh, yeah. So see if you have any doubts in the rendering about the Revit or anything like that, you can just ask me if you have any doubts whether how to create. If you want have doubts about creating other things or anything like that. Uh, You see, okay, someone asked me which is the best render engine for a software like Revit, V-Ray, ENSCAPE, or Lumion or Twinmotion. You see, all have its own advantage and everything. All right, I'm not saying something, but as you all know, V-Ray and Lumion are actually really a good, high quality rendering software. Um, V-Ray, Lumion, and in the V-Ray and Lumion, you have to do a lot of work over there. All right, if you want to get a proper, really good rendering and everything, you have to set the textures. You have to create your own textures or download textures, and you have to provide that on the model that you're creating. Okay, on the Enscape you can do that, but you don't really have to do it. Okay, you'll get a decent quality within the model you're creating itself. Okay, and Lumion on the Twinmotion also. Twinmotion is good, but it's not that good as you think. Okay, you can create some good rendering and everything, but the quality is much more. Okay, Twinmotion and Lumion. Okay, Lumion is better. Okay, you're asking Twinmotion, Lumion. Lumion is better. You can create a really good rendering in the Lumion itself. Okay. So you see over here I have completed that rendering. Okay, it take like what 2-3 minutes or something like that. Okay, right now you are not able to see anything over here. Just if you are having such kind of issue like you are not able to see just some light dots or something like that, then all you have to do is just go to the adjust exposure over here. Okay, select that and you can find the exposure values and option over here. Just make it a bit more brighter. Okay, can bring it brighter, select apply, so you are starting to see your model, so you can make it much more brighter. Okay, you can create, okay, you're able to see that and you're able to control all these features. Okay, you can make the highlights much more brighter if you want. Oh yeah, look like a burned out, so you don't want to do that. And we can lighten the shadow or darken it. We have the saturation option. If you want to increase the saturation, and you decrease it a little bit, and you can also control the white point, which is actually the temperature. Okay, you can make it more warmer if you want or make it cooler. Okay, so up to you. Can also add different lights, different colors of light and everything, but you have to create that separately and everything. But yeah, you are able to do that and you can able to control that and everything here or here. So once you are done the rendering, then all you have to do is just save this to the project. Okay, you can save it. I have already saved some over here. If you want to export it, you can use the export option over here. Okay, so when you close it, it will turn back to your normal one. And okay, on here, can find, okay, on the project browser you can find the renderings over here, so you can find all these renderings that you created. I've created some renderings earlier time. Okay, actually some more having some bad qualities and everything. Okay, so you can go through different settings and everything to get a really good renderings and everything. Okay, and yeah, you can create walkthroughs as well. So this was another walkthrough that I created. Okay, I'll just go to the walkthrough template. Okay, mine won't be able to see that really great right now. Okay, since we are viewing this on the Revit. When you export it, you will get a really good smooth workflow and everything. But right now you'll be seeing like a choppy animation or something like that. Okay, but yeah, you can create like this and you can export this a walkthrough. Okay, I'm not going to play this all while. Okay, it will take more time. Okay, and if you want to go to your like the cloud render, okay, on the view tab you see we have the render and cloud option. Just set a view that you want to render, sorry, set a 3D view that you want to render, then just hit render in cloud. You will get some option over here. Just give that option, continue and everything, and once you've done that, it will start rendering on the cloud. And once it is finished, you can go to this render gallery. I think I have already opened one over here. Okay, I really don't have. Okay, so you can go to the render gallery. It might take a little bit time. Okay, if you have any doubts or anything, you can ask me. It might take a little bit time. So this is actually the a cloud rendering gallery of mine, and see, you can go to some different project and see view your model and everything. Okay, so actually I'll just come over here. So this is actually a panoramic rendering that I created a long back ago. Okay, but you can see if you want to view this on your smartphone or something like that. I hope you all have your smartphone within you right now. All you have to do is just you see, you can like create a QR code over here, and if you have a smartphone within you and if you have a QR scanner, you can just scan this barcode right now. Okay, you can scan this QR code. Sorry, you can scan this QR code right now, and you will be able to see the panoramic view. Okay, if you have a QR scanner in your smartphone, you can just scan it right now, and you will be able to view the this panoramic. Okay, be able to view that. You can control that and everything. Uh, Actually, yes. Actually, Raja, we are planning to conduct a training session on the Revit and ENSCAPE. I'll just talk to you about that soon after this. Okay. So, if you have a smartphone, you can just scan on this QR code over there. Then you will get all this. Okay. So I hope you all understood all those things. So okay, I'll get back to my right. So as you asked, okay, we are actually have a plan for conducting a 5-day online training program on visualization for BIM. So it's actually a 5-day program, 1 hour per day. Say we'll be using Revit, SketchUp, and Inkscape for Revit and SketchUp. And these are the topics that we will be covering on that session. So we have the rendering in Revit system and cloud rendering, and we'll do some daylight rendering, night view rendering, all these settings that we have to do to get our really good renderings and everything. The artificial light settings in the Revit, okay, where you can find the light fixtures, how we can set the light or like the exposure and everything. And then about the walkthroughs in Revit, how we can create the walkthroughs in Revit, different walkthrough like the interior walkthrough, creating scenes and everything. And same on the SketchUp. SketchUp does not have any rendering option within itself, but I will show you how to create some animation and scenes in the SketchUp. Okay, we can really create some animation in SketchUp. We can also do some 4D simulation kind of animations in the SketchUp itself. So we'll show you that, and we'll be going through ENSCAPE for the Revit and SketchUp, how we can create the rendering, animation, all these settings of the ENSCAPE, how we can create different scenes and everything. And we are export ENSCAPE components and everything. Okay, we'll go through all the things that are available in the ENSCAPE as well. So we're actually planning to do that. We haven't announced the date or anything about this. So see, it's actually going to be a 5-day online training. All right, it's only a 1 hour per day, or maybe if there is any changes, we will inform you. So if you are interested, okay, if you are interested or anything, you can contact us. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you everyone, and if you are interested in joining that session, then you can just contact me. Okay, there's my contact number over here, so you can contact me via WhatsApp or anything, or you can use that WhatsApp group as well, or you can, there's my email ID. So if you want to learn more about this like the visualization, how we can create all those things, okay, so you can contact us. We'll arrange something for that. Okay, we are actually planning to do that like really soon. Okay, so if you're interested, please contact us. And yeah, and don't worry about the topics as well. We might increase the topics. We might add some more visualization option over there, not just the rendering and the animation, but you can also find some different. You can do some really good renderings, and not just rendering, but you can create some other kind of visualization option on the Revit itself. So we'll go through that as well. So yeah, hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you all understood what I talked about. Hope you all get the idea of visualization means. So thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you for being a part of it. Okay. All right. See you there.